Hi folks, it's Simon here. How are you? I had a question from Seen on YT, which I'm assuming is YouTube, about how to travel with your guitar on aeroplanes. He'd watched my to hang or not to hang video, and I thought I would do a little video of stuff I've researched and experience that I've had of going on aeroplanes with guitars to help you out. So I hope this helps you out. We'll get straight into it. The first thing is pre-flight. Now, probably the most important thing is to find out the airline's policy on taking guitars on aeroplanes. Now, here in Australia, I know the policies of Qantas, Virgin Australia, and JetStar are actually all pretty different. So it's definitely worthwhile checking what kind of guitar you're going to take or what kind of gear you're going to take, and make sure it matches that particular airline even before you book the flight, to be honest. That is probably the most important thing, because they do have different dimensions in their cabins and all that sort of stuff. So do check that first. I'll put links to each of those airlines and their policies in the description. The next thing is to find out their liability limits. So if you do end up putting it in the hold and your guitar gets totaled, how much were they going to give you for the guitar? So if you're taking your 1959 Gibson Gold Top and you put it in the hold, their liability probably isn't up to whatever, $200,000 or whatever, how much that guitar costs. So do find that out in the small print before you get anywhere near the airline. The other thing is those carry-on dimensions and the weight that you're allowed in the cabin is really, really important, because so obviously they have set rules, so make sure that you are matching the rules, and there should be absolutely no problem at all. On that though, consider the type of case that you're going to take. Now, there are many types of guitar case. So I don't know if you've seen my video on the this brilliant mono case that I have. Obviously it's massive, right? So that's problematic in the start. I'm not sure that they would be too keen on letting you with this in the cabin. But guess just call and find out, or just email them and find out. These cases are really great. They're like a bit like a soft case, but like a bit padded. Do check out my video on that. I talk a lot about it. The other kind of case that you could get is actually a flight case. Now this is a Hiscox flight case, and they're pretty good. They're pretty expensive, so if you're flying a lot with your guitar, probably give that a go. They can hold up to an amazing amount of pressure. I think it's like 100 kilos of pressure or something on top of them, and they're beautiful inside, and everything fits super snugly. Now let me just grab a guitar and I'll talk about that. So here's my beautiful Gibson Gold Top guitar. You can see this is the case for it. Now this isn't the original case. I actually bought this because I was flying with the guitar a bit. Now, one thing I did was that I made sure that the guitar doesn't move in the case. So generally t-shirts, paper, bubble wrap. T-shirts are actually good because it means that if you are going on a tour or you're going to be away for a while, you can actually use this as part of your actual luggage, so you don't have to take such a big case. So, but t-shirt there, really making sure that all of this stuff, particularly on a Gibson around the headstock, is super padded, so that when you've got the guitar in the case, it's not going to move. All right, that is really, really important. The other thing on the guitar itself is to loosen the strings just a little bit to take the pressure off the neck. I don't know if this is very scientific or not, but I've always done it. Everybody I know who flies with guitars does that too. Having said that, I've had guitars shipped to me and they've turned up and they're completely strung in tune, and so maybe that's not a thing, but what's the harm, I think. The next point I would say is if you do fly a lot, the hard case, it's just easier. The stress of having to get to the airport, kind of figuring out, oh, will they let me take it on the plane, not take it on the plane, even if you do all that pre-work, can be quite stressful. So if you are flying a lot, do that. Or get a tiny travel guitar and a tiny travel case, and they'll think it's a violin or something, and they'll be more happy with you taking it on board, I guess. So for example, when I used to go up and down the east coast of Australia a bit doing gigs and stuff, acoustic gigs, or as an acoustic guitar player, I would take this a lot. This is why I bought this thing. If you want to see a review on that, I have a video on that too. I'll put that in the description too. All right. Now, the last thing pre-flight that I would talk about is book a seat at the front or the back of the plane, depending where they load that particular plane first. Okay, so that means if you are going to carry it onto the plane and put it in, try and put it in the bins above the sort of the luggage bins above the seats, you will be first on the plane and there won't be anybody in front of you. So get to the gate early and you know, make sure you're able to get to be one of the first people on the plane. That would be awesome. Really, really, really good idea. The other thing you can do is you can ask super nicely the steward or stewardess if you can put your guitar upright. In some planes have a coat closet, so you might be able to do that. That's a pretty good idea as well. But they're not obliged to help you out in any way, so the nicer you are, the better it is, and let's hope they're all having a good day. Okay, so we spoke a bit about packing the guitar as well, using t-shirts, paper to fill the extra space, loosen the strings. Oh, humidifier. I'm going to put a link in the description. There's a whole bunch of different humidifiers you can use if you're worried about that, or you're traveling in to countries where it is humid. Like here in Australia today, it is absolutely brutally humid in Sydney, and humidifier is a good thing. I've actually got them for my acoustic guitars. I'll put a link in the description. And the final thing about the packing the guitar is put your name, I know this sounds like the most obvious thing ever, put your name and your home address on the guitar, your phone number, your email, all that sort of stuff. Some airlines have special sort of privacy labels that are quite hardy and you can fill in the airport and then fold over so you know your name and address isn't written all up and down the case. But making sure that, you know, should your guitar go one way and you go a different way, that they're able to contact you and get hold of you, right? And always make sure to keep that receipt, that if you do check the guitar in, make sure you keep the check receipt that, you know, is basically your guarantee that they have got the guitar. Okay. All right. So just some little extra tips. In summary, assess the guitar. If it's been in the hold, open the guitar as soon as you get it off the luggage belt. That means, you know, the locks on the case itself, the guitar inside, and if there is absolutely anything wrong with the guitar, tell them immediately. Do not go to your hotel or back home or whatever before you talk to them at the airport. Another thing I would say is that do take pictures of your guitar and the condition of the case before you get on the plane, right? Then you can say, hey, it looked like this, and now there's this hole or whatever in it. You know, I think you're to blame. Thanks very much. Second thing is to try and get on the plane first. Like I said before, get to the gate early. Don't be running late and all that sort of stuff. I know sometimes it's hard to avoid, but try to get there a bit early. And the last thing is, if you are taking your on hand luggage, don't kind of go, hey, everyone, I've got a guitar. It takes up loads of room. I'm going to be everybody's favorite passenger. Just take it by your side and just try and get in onto the plane like that. So it's sort of, you don't get any extra hassle. Now, I know that in the US, oh, this is awesome, by the way. If you're in the US and you're traveling in the US, there's actually some kind of statute. Sec 403 musical instruments in general, subchapter 1 of chapter 417 is amended by adding at the end of the following: musical instruments. Small instruments as carry-on baggage. An air carrier providing air transportation shall permit a passenger to carry a violin, guitar, or other musical instrument in the aircraft cabin without charging the passenger a fee in addition to the standard fee that the carrier may require for comparable carry-on baggage if the instrument can be stowed safely in a suitable baggage compartment in the aircraft cabin or under the passenger seat in accordance with the requirements of carriage of carry-on baggage or cargo established by the administrator. So that's pretty sweet, isn't it? I would say that you should definitely take a copy of that. I'll link in the description as well with you on the plane if you're in the US. And if somebody goes, hey, you can't bring a guitar, you just go, it says. So that is amazing. I think that's absolutely fantastic. But don't make a big song and dance of it. Just carry it by your side and you'll get on the plane, no problem. So in summary, pre-flight, find out the airline policy and their liability limit. And, you know, if you need to take out insurance on the guitar, take it out. Make sure you carry on dimensions and weight match what they say, and find out the size of the bins overhead to make sure it does fit in. Like, so for example, that little mini Maton, the travel guitar, probably fits in the overhead cabin. The mono case probably doesn't fit in the overhead cabin, right? And then consider the type of case, hard case, soft case. You know, if you fly a lot, I'd consider getting a super hard case like that Hiscox. They are crazy expensive though. And book a seat at the front or the back depending on what goes on first, and get to the gate early. Hopefully, seen on YouTube, that helps you and answers your questions around traveling with the guitar. Like with the loosening the strings, man, I don't know, but I've always done it. Maybe it's not necessary. If you have any thoughts or any other advice about traveling on aeroplanes, please do mention them in the comments below. Please subscribe here. There's stuff all the time, two new videos every single week. There's going to be some lessons and stuff over the next few weeks as well. In a second, I'm about to record a thing on Charlie Christian pickups, if that should interest you. So do subscribe, click the bell to get the notifications when new videos turn up, and I will see you next time. Thanks very much for watching. Appreciate it. Bye for now.